Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. I have some breaking news um, in East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, I did a story last year about a 17-year-old Antwon Rose from East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who was shot 3 times in the back by East Pittsburgh police officer Michael Rosfeld. Well, the jury has reached a verdict last night, and the verdict is, which is not a surprise, they found Michael Rosfeld not guilty of all charges. Yes, you heard it right, people, not guilty. So let me get this straight. Michael Rosfeld got out of his police vehicle, saw Antwon Rose run away, and he shot the kid 3 times in the back. Now, Michael Rosfeld testified and said that, they received a call that there was a drive-by shooting, and the car that Antwon Rose was on would fit the description, right? So they checked on it, and then when the police stopped the car, it was like 3 people in that car. The driver stayed. Two of them ran away, and Antwon Rose is one of them. So Michael Rosfeld, the former police officer, shot him 3 times in the back, and there's a video proving that fact. But the jury, reached a verdict, found the officer not guilty of all charges. And last night, after the verdict was read, there's protesters was outside the courthouse, and they wasn't happy about the verdict. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, and then I'm gonna finish the rest of my commentary.
Far, they have not stepped in to restrict or deter or move these demonstrators here. And many of them are on the phones telling other folks to come down here and join them. So you can see some parts of the demonstrators here kind of breaking off and going their separate ways, but still a large crowd here at the corner of Forbes and Grant, and calling people, telling them to come down here and demonstrate along with them. So a lot of chanting, a lot of crying, a lot of singing, some of Antwon Rose II's poetry being read as well. And we're getting reaction here from friends, family, and loved ones, and also activists who have come down here as well to kind of try to organize this demonstration. But you can see traffic flowing along Grant Street right now, but Forbes being blocked. There are some vehicles there on Forbes that are unable to move. And we do see some officers there on the other side, but traffic there not moving because protesters remain in the streets.
You're a leader. Where are we going?
Okay, it is moving now. So that's the situation down here. The crowd pretty much staying right in this corridor of Forbes and Grant. And you can see traffic here moving, but moving very slowly and very precariously, as there are some demonstrators here in the streets. So this is what continues to happen, and this is what police were prepared for as well. There was so much happening behind the scenes in terms of response and in terms of logistics, making sure that the city was prepared here, all for the sake of public safety. So gathering here in the streets after that verdict of not guilty was read in the trial of former officer Michael Rosfeld of East Pittsburgh. Friends and family saying this was an injustice. Many of them calling on other people to come down here, but a lot of people. There's a lot of emotion down here tonight. A lot of people processing this verdict in many, many different ways. And a lot of them say they will continue to stay here throughout the evening as well. So we're going to go get some more interviews. That's what's happening here live downtown. A bit of a traffic situation here, but there are police officers everywhere. We have yet to see them actually step in physically with any of these protesters. Right now, they seem to be just standing, many of them on street corners, inside of building vestibules, just watching the situation here. There you see a few of them walking towards the cars.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's puzzled me that you have an officer, Michael Rosfeld, and killing 17-year-old Antwon Rose 3 times in the back while running away. But again, that's not a surprise that they reached a verdict. Which is a surprise, however, how they did it. Now, they reached a verdict last night for nobody even paying attention of it. And so when they reached the verdict last night, they knew there's going to be a lot of protesters going to be outside of the courthouse, whether it's yesterday or last night. Obviously, I guess they feel like they're going to reach the verdict, so, people probably either sleep or don't know what happened until the next day. I think that's why they're doing this. Now, as far as, Antwon Rose and his family is concerned, my thoughts and prayers goes to the families, because yesterday they were hurt. It was a miscarriage of justice. The officer should have been convicted. Now, if Michael Rosfeld would have been convicted, he would have spent the rest of his life in prison. And the police union will not let that happen. You know that all other defense attorneys will not let that happen. You see countless stories of police officers were either found not guilty or wasn't even indicted. Trayvon Martin case, Michael Brown case, Rakia Boyd, Antwon Rose, let's see, Fernando Castillo, Elton Sterling, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland. These stories showing that these officers can get away with murder, and they trying to find each and everything they can to get these officers off, and they did an excellent job with Michael Rosfeld here. Now, they said that they found a gun in the car that Antwon Rose and his friends was on. However, they didn't even match the DNA or the ballistics of the gun that was used. They didn't even know it was Antwon Rose or it was someone else. But with all things aside, you said that it was a drive-by shooting, and this is a questionable case because people wanted to know. You said minutes earlier you received a call of a drive-by shooting, and you said that the car that Antwon Rose was on fit the description. But if that's the case, why didn't you? I mean, and this is another thing that I didn't understand either. Why did you let the driver go? If you knew this was the car that was involved in the drive-by shooting, why did you let the driver go? He was involved, right? It was 3 people in that car: the driver, Antwon Rose, and the other Antwon Rose's friend, and 2 of them ran away from the police officer. And Antwon Rose was the one got 3 bullets in the back, killing them. See, it's basically going to show that black people in this country don't have any justice whatsoever. That the criminal justice system was never, ever for us. And I know people are going to say, well, it's because of the criminal justice system been broken. No, it's not. It's set up this way. And obviously, look what's going on across this country. Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Antwon Rose, Rakia Boyd, Fernando Castillo, Elton Sterling, Oscar Grant. The list goes on and on. See, and this is why black people can't trust the police. This is why the black community cannot trust the police in their area, because they don't even know if they're going to pull the same stuff that these police officers is. Now, I'm not saying all police officers are bad people. There's some good police officers. But the problem is that the good police officers ain't taking responsibility to call out those bad police officers that's doing the dirt. See, that 17-year-old kid shouldn't have been killed that day. But I know a lot of people who like Blue Lives Matter will say, well, if he would have complied, if he would have stopped when the officer said stop, he wouldn't have been killed. But I'm gonna tell you something. He wasn't even a threat to former officer Rosfeld. He wasn't even a threat to him. He ran away, and the officers killed him 3 times. See, we as black people need to, whatever. I mean, we have our issues, our beefs. Let's keep it in house, and let's focus on working together as a team. And at the end of the day, we all we got. We all we got. And all this, beef and everything else, that to me that needs to stop. But as far as this case goes, the families is hurting right now. S. Lee Merritt, who was the attorneys of Antwon Walker's family, was disgusted with the verdict. Along with everybody else was disgusted with the verdict, because obviously a 17-year-old kid shouldn't have been killed that day. If they want to would have stopped the kid from running, they would have shot him in the knee or shot him in the ankle or something. They shouldn't even shot the kid 3 times in the back. So let me know. What you think, guys. Share this video, like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Click the like button. Hit the notification bell for more news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.